What's going on, guys? Welcome. My name is Chris, aka RipplePack92, and you are watching This is the Waypoint, the one and only Star Wars discussion show right here on the Shared Screens podcast network. We got the usual crew in with us today. Alec, Bobco, Bret, Jamerson, some other Josh, all on the ones, the twos, the mics, the threes, the fours. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Super excited to talk all things Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor. I've come to give you the black spot, or is that his other Disney movie that Skarsgård did?
Probably.
Or there's also Marvel.
That was a Pirates of the Caribbean reference for those of you wondering, because of course Bill Skarsgård did play one bootstrap Bill Turner and assigned Jack Sparrow the black spot. So the Kraken would come after him. I would love to do a Pirates of the Caribbean podcast sometime. But before we get any further into discussing Cassian Andor, be sure, if you haven't, like, comment, subscribe on just about everything. Currently, we've got a really, really cool House of the Dragon discussion podcast led by one Bret Jamerson. Also on this podcast, in case you didn't notice, we got Media Club, still discussing She-Hulk as it's going. It's rad as shit. And if you like who we are and what we do, these two boys, Bret and Alec, have thrown their hat in the ring to become part of the Game Awards future class of gaming. We'll have links in the description so you can go check that out. But please, 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 go vote for them, because they're cool people who do cool things on cool shows and deserve cool rewards for it, other than making these dumb shows, you know? Anyway, let's start it right off. Of course, we're here to talk about episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Andor. And before we begin, I just want to say, I fucking told you this shit was awesome. I told you this goddamn show was going to be cool. Fuck, it's rad. I told you. Hell yeah. Damn, those episodes slap.
I feel like there wasn't a cast of doubt, though. That, like, I don't know.
For us, yeah.
Like, I
Not
like,
for
I
us.
wasn't,
No, this isn't
hyped
it.
for
This
it, but, like,
isn't
I
you
wasn't,
guys.
like, I wasn't,
This is just in
like, oh,
general.
this show's gonna be shit, you know?
I don't know that there was really anyone who's like, this show's gonna suck. I saw like a general air of like, who wants this? Me, I want this. All right,
Yeah.
Me, I do, because this is the most like an expanded universe novel that a Star Wars like film live action project has ever felt, and I really, really like that. I like when they take an established era that we already knew, a character that we've seen somewhere else, and just dive deep. Do something somewhere else that we haven't seen yet, and I love that. So this is awesome. Awesome. Let's start out how we usually do, though, yeah? This is not a review show. This is a discussion show. We like to come here, give our general vibes and thoughts
9
and
out of 10.
opinions.
Oh, what?
Damn.
It's a hard points, hard discussion. Give me your general thoughts on episodes 1, 2, and 3. We're gonna go around the room. Alec, how do you feel about the beginning of Cassian Andor?
I really enjoyed it. I know we kind of discussed this before the podcast, and the days leading up to it, but I actually had to get up early and watch this because I wasn't going to have enough time to watch the podcast before we recorded after work.
Mm-hmm.
So I got up at 4:30 this morning and watched all 3 episodes.
Damn.
That's fucking dedication right there.
Exactly.
That's why he deserves to be in the future class of gaming, GameAwards.com, whatever the link is. I don't know what it is. My mic is more mobile than ever before. I feel like y'all going to see this much more often, baby. I'm going to get right up in your ears.
Yeah, you look like Elvis, man.
Yeah, man. From hit movie Elvis.
I haven't seen it. I don't get the reference.
Little children.
That doesn't help. What?
Wait, I was going to say one of the funny quotes from that movie.
I don't know what's happening.
Josh knows.
I've seen it, yeah. But anyway.
The only joke I know from that movie is he's white.
Whoa!
It's the only thing I've seen from that movie.
He said it, not me, y'all.
Anyway.
It's a clip. You know what I'm talking about. Shut the fuck up.
Yep. So I
So you like
really
it, though?
I really enjoyed this. Like a lot of people were saying, it's a little bit of a slow start, but it's that slow burn that just really makes episode 3 just pop off.
Spicy meatball.
Exactly. Doesn't give you
totally
all the candy at once. It's just like, little breadcrumbs, and then just bam.
Sorry, I took that too long for our audio listeners. Brett, how do you feel about Andor?
Gotta have those
1 through
pregnant
3?
pauses.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And or more like and more. Can I get more of these episodes immediately, please? Yeah, I said it in the tweet last night. Like, there's something about this show that just engaged me immediately. Like, it is a slow burn. Like, if you watch each episode at a time, and I can totally see why they included 3 because that does feel like a chunk of the story from this first season. But yeah, like I'm gonna go crazy here, but like this, I felt more emotion in these episodes than I did like in 95% of Obi-Wan, which like I never would have conceived that going into this show. The set designs look amazing. Like I don't know if I ever want to see the volume ever again, bro. Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like Mandalorian, it was a cool thing back in the day. I don't know, like
Back in
I
the
don't
day,
know.
it was like 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like I don't know if I ever want to see it again, man. Like, but yeah, like
Don't.
yeah, Diego Luna did a fantastic job. Yeah, Skarsgård did great. Like all the actors, like no no stunt casting so far. Like it's all like it just feels like this real world and awesome music. Yeah, just amazing.
So, totally agree. I'm with you on that. I definitely think it's like the most like the best looking like I'd go so far as to say is like Disney Plus project. That's
Oh, yeah.
literally so far like
and with
it's better than Marvel stuff and it's I don't know that I never want to see the volume again. I think in like season 2 of Mando and especially Obi-Wan, and I mean maybe that's like a COVID thing, but it does feel like they leaned really really heavily on that, and I think it works better when it's what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like sprinkled in as opposed to we shot the
Yeah.
entire show on the volume, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that was a COVID thing. This one also filmed during COVID, but I mean, you know, on location shooting is different, so I mean, like it's like I get that as well.
Yeah.
But still, I'm with you all the way as far as like I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, but yeah, these 3 episodes felt like a full like story arc like already, but there's still more to go at the same time, which is
Like-
I understand why there's 3. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like when they're on, like in the beginning when it's like they're on the Morlana 1 planet, like the corporate planet, and it's raining and it's dark, and there's these like weird bubbles with like strippers like twerking and stuff.
I was
like,
instantly in, dude. Immediately.
That looks so much more engaging than like Ewan McGregor walking on like a CGI sand.
It was real.
screen.
Because it was
Yeah,
real. They
yeah.
really built those buildings and put real strippers in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That's why, and I love it. Josh, how do you feel about episodes 1 through 3?
I really liked it. Of course, like speaking on our Rogue One retrospective, which if you haven't watched already, watch it. Like I wasn't like super hyped, but you know, I was of course going to reserve judgment. But like we've been drip fed Star Wars content for the last 3 years now, to the point where I'll still consume whatever they're like putting out. It's not like Marvel where it's a waterfall. I'm like I can't be bothered to care about this anymore. Like I'm so just checked out and
I've stopped watching the Disney Plus movies or shows. I've seen zero of She-Hulk.
Same.
I
You
did
should.
Moon Knight.
It's She-Hulk's really good. Like it's a good
I'll probably.
sitcom.
That feels like a good binge movie or a binge show.
And so
yeah.
going into this, didn't have the highest expectations, but everything was instantly exceeded. Like you said, this felt like this felt like full arc, in which like by the time where we got to the end, I was like, damn, this is kind of like a satisfying ending, and like totally stands on its own. Like this is pretty crazy.
You could almost go right into Rogue One after episode 3 and probably like be like, cool, I have a better understanding of who Cassian Andor is, right?
Exactly. I loved like the catalyst for the story and all that, the back and forth between, you know, the stuff when he's 6, the stuff when he's like the current day stuff, all that was great. I loved the technical stuff, all the on site, like everything on site was incredible. It felt like very Force Awakens Rogue One, where it's like we have these practical sets and stuff like that, and these like practical things within the world. I'd still want to see the volume, of course, because the Batman, like the volume like help make Gotham City its own character in that movie. But still nice that
I
we
forgot
can
they
have
used the volume for that movie.
right, and it's like made better for it. And
It's
so
a
like
great example of how like supplemental it can be.
exactly
That's the word I was
and so
looking for earlier.
Because with the volume, my thing was like in Obi-Wan, it's like 3 stormtroopers against like
Oh yeah, it's
Obi-Wan
rough in
and, like,
spots. It's real rough
like,
in spots, dude.
rebels or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry.
And so it's cool that we have like both of these can exist within the same world, and like Andor just like incredibly just succeeds on all the stuff. And yeah, the slow burn, but when we got to the action stuff, I thought the action was all well shot. I love the music, like everything. I thought this was fantastic.
Cool. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. It does, and I'll give some my own quick thoughts on it. Yeah, I love that it was kind of like this full story arc that still has enough to lead us into the next 9 episodes left of the show. Like there's still a lot going on, and I thought it was paced beautifully because I'm a huge sucker for slow burn character deep dives like this, and I really loved it. The world feels not to touch too much more on the set design and everything, I guess, but I love it's I can't stop thinking about it. Like it's so cool looking, and it is something that we kind of touched on the Rogue One retrospective. It's got Tony Gilroy's like hand all over, right? It feels so lived in, so real, so like genuine. Like it's like those dudes that were like helping like scrap the ships and stuff. Like everything like down to their uniforms, what they were doing and stuff. I was like, yeah, this looks like a real job. I want to do that. I've never wanted to work construction in my life. I want to go do that.
Bro, the wall of gloves.
I was just about to bring those up.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
I've got like modern fandom brain, and I'm like, dude, this kind of looks like Dash Rendar's like
a little bit though.
And by the way, Cassian's gun kind of looks like the Briar pistol for
doesn't it?
I don't think it is, but it's like.
Well, I think it was his father's pistol.
Okay.
Because I saw him on the ship with it, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I to the music especially, I think is what really took me back. Because there's it's a lot like what Ludwig Göransson does with the Mandalorian, to where it feels natural for the world, but it's still fresh and new and doing different things than we get in other projects. The way it's real synth heavy in parts. It's very ambient, but still has lots of melody to it, which I think parts of Obi-Wan Kenobi was kind of missing. Not that I'm trying to. I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi. I feel like I'm dogging on it a bunch, and I'm sorry. But it did feel very melodic, and there's a lot of like different instruments in there. There are drums in episode 2. Drums, dude! They busted out a fucking drum kit, and I lost my mind.
I understood what they were going for there, but I was like, this feels really out of world for Star Wars when the fucking like you hear the snare and the hi-hat, and then the guitar riff was like wow.
No, I went like, full mass, dude. I was
like
rock hard. I was rock solid.
I'm like, I get we're building hype, and like obviously I'm hyped to go into this 3rd episode when watching that, but I was like, this feels so weird and out of universe.
The drums came in, and I said out loud, I was like, drums in Star Wars. I'm a drummer. I was fucking losing it. I was like, hell yeah, the fucking post-rock build-up in Star Wars is like the Halo Infinite multiplayer suite, dude. I was so here for it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I loved that. I do love. I love to hate these the corporate tactical forces, right? These fucking narcs, these fucking
great
cops.
Costumes, dude. Great costumes.
Pigs. Call them what it is.
These straight pigs, dude. Star Wars said ACAB, bro.
And like,
hey man, they were trying to bring in a criminal, man. Okay, like, and like he did kill somebody, right? Like
2 people.
I loved how non-subtle they were with all that shit. Like it was like you could definitely tell what they were going for, and they were fucking going for it. I was like,
oh yeah, the corpos are for sure just straight up like a police allegory, but it's not something that feels. It's not subtle, but it doesn't feel heavy-handed. It doesn't feel forced. It fits within the world of Star Wars. I think, in the idea that the Empire has sort of like sublet out these like security forces to kind of watch over these worlds that they don't care about, especially in a point where they're still kind of newer, like the Senate's still around and all that stuff. Like that makes sense to me, and I think that's really cool. I enjoyed watching the performance of the dude from The Office who yells to shut up about the sun.
See, it was giving that energy. It was also giving Jack Quaid energy. Like
I got a little bit of Jack Quaid energy.
I was like, you could have popped Jack Quaid in this role right
this
now.
motherfucker feels like the kind of guy to remind the teacher that there was homework. You know what I mean?
I saw that tweet too.
He's a very fascinating character. Very fascinating.
But
Yeah,
I also love.
see-
Yeah, I was
And
just
not
gonna.
not because your angle, not because you're.
No, he's great to watch. It's an incredible performance.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I was just
Last
say
night
that
when
I-
he
Oh yeah, go ahead.
go for it, Alec.
All
Take
right.
it away.
I was just gonna say I love the back and forth like they had with basically the big commander of all that, the corporate force. Like it's just like he's just like brush this under the rug. We don't need to get the Empire involved. We don't need to get people in. We don't need to investigate this. Like just move on.
That was one of the things where I was like, as far as I see it, an accident happened on this side of town because otherwise, two of our officers would have been found in a brothel they shouldn't have been in, drinking stuff they shouldn't have done, getting in fights with people that shouldn't be there. And so that's when I was sitting there. I was like, oh, this is not subtle. Holy shit! I was like, they're fucking going in. Incredible stuff, dude. But yeah, overall, I really love it. I mean, to talk about the performances, I mean, fucking Diego Luna, he's putting his whole fucking Andussy into this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. The first scene between him and his mother when he comes back home, he's all beat up, and B2 is like trying to let another he's got a message, and she's trying to figure out where he's been, and their whole exchange. I was just like, wow, man, this is incredible.
They did a great Star Wars droid. Now that we got another classic Star Wars droid here. You got to have that in Star Wars, and they did it. They nailed it.
B2 emo.
Did anybody realize it was like basically Wally at first?
Yeah, that was the like first major vibe I got, especially when like the space dog was pissing on it and it like zapped it back. I was like, this is Wally energy for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, rolling around in junk, humming to himself, doing his thing, being a droid. I love him. He's amazing. If anyone fucks up B2 emo, I'm gonna send a strongly worded letter to Lucasfilm. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Don't touch my sweet Bowie.
He's up there.
He's up there, man. I liked him a lot, and it's also it's great to get another droid that actually like speaks, is understandable. I love getting cool noises and stuff from droids and stuff, but it was cool to actually like hear him speak, and I really liked that. Let's see, what other general vibes notes that I have? Oh yeah, I love that takeout is forever a universal thing. I really want some of them bloodles that one security dude was eating. If they're not at Galaxy's Edge by this time next year, I will be very surprised.
Yeah.
They also look tasty. What do blue noodles taste like, do you think?
Just regular noodles, probably.
Yeah. Just noodles.
Yeah.
Just noodles, I guess. I don't know.
Alfredo, like that was kind of the vibe I was getting for sure.
For sure. Okay. Yeah.
I said Skarsgård's ship was really cool. I was like, just another kind of vibe thing.
Very cool. All the ships are really rad.
Had like a Corellian looking hull, or
it's hid under the wings, like when it was landed, and then opened up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really sick. I loved both of the speeders that we see in the show, especially one is very like swoop bike looking, and then that big like blue one reminded me a lot of the Corellian one that we see at the beginning of Solo. And just again, kind of having that sort of like the visual continuity is always really great, right? But this is the first time that we hear shit in Star Wars, which was interesting. I wasn't ready for that. Of course, it comes from the Scottish guy. That's very funny to me.
Dude, that guy has an imperial ass looking haircut, bro.
Dude,
big old sideburns, dude.
The first time that the Scottish dude and the Jack Quaid looking ass were talking to each other.
Barn, man, put some respect on his name, dude.
dude, when he's standing and like looking at the fire of the like speeder and everything, and he's just like raging. Like I was like, this is Bret. Like this has got to be Bret's like Stan character. Like the way he stands for John Walker. Like this is so
Like, yeah, Brett's gonna
easily,
be a huge fucking fan of Cyrell.
100. When there's the Walgreens exclusive Skyrel Black Series figure, you know Brett's
Yeah,
getting
he's gonna
it,
have like
you
3 of them, dude.
know?
Figure Arts makes a Cyrell Karn.
yeah,
But
I just want to say,
the first time that they were talking, like they were just kind of going back and forth. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's crazy that we wouldn't send somebody to come after this." I was like, "You fucking nerds!"
yeah,
Right?
They're just so like gung ho about it, just in terms of not like the ideals, but just like you know, we're all about the side hustle here, right? So but this is their main hustle, so they're really trying to
their
go
job.
they're going up the ladder, so they just care about that more than
Up the
anything.
literal corporate ladder.
Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is.
Yeah.
They're trigger happy pigs, bro.
No, 100%, absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see Cyrell fire on somebody the moment he walked into a building? He hadn't confirmed whether even they were in hostile or not. He just started blasting.
And the way they started pushing around Andor's mom, I was like, bro, you get your fucking hands off her right
I was
now,
like,
dude.
you get your hands off of sweet Aunt Petunia. I tell you fucking
She's
what,
a
dude. Like
70-year-old lady. Why are you pushing her around like this, you fucking pig? You know, no.
The way the alert system, like
yes, the intimidation tactic and shit like that. I thought all that was great. I
and
just
then
want
it
to
just cut
backtrack.
to silence.
Yes, incredible. I do want to backtrack back to the swearing in Star Wars though, just because I feel like that's become kind of the big discussion.
Dude, they did it in
around.
1980, bro. Get over it.
They did
you
it
in hell.
They did it in one of the best Star Wars movies ever, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
Around this.
I was not nodding to that.
Post
How are
split
we
and
gonna-
goes straight through his speeder, and he's like, what the hell?
Well, also he says, "How are we supposed to get through this big ass door?" And I was talking to a friend of the show, Aaron Roots, and he's like, "I just don't know how I feel about swearing in Star Wars." And I was like, "Yeah, like I get it, but like I don't really care." When he said shit, I was like, "You know what? I'm kind of against it." Like I'd rather have it be like Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, where it's like Flark is basically just fuck.
It's
Know,
Criff.
like just
It's Star Wars.
Yeah, just come
Yeah.
like come up with some like something else or like
Dank Ferric.
I mean, I didn't even notice it, so I mean,
I
Yeah, he
didn't
said
notice it the
shit.
first time either. It was like, oh yeah, he did say
Scottish
it.
dude says shit.
Oh.
We're under siege. A fun fact: it's the
Yeah.
second ever shit in Star Wars. First one in
Really?
any sort of live action product. The other one is from oh shit, which one of the novels? Is it? From one of the. it's from one of the Amidala trilogy novels, but one of the handmaidens says
He
shit
said live action
at one
though.
point.
This is the first
Yeah.
live action one. This is
That's what I said. That's the first live
other
action. What I'm saying is the second ever Star Wars shit, though.
shit.
Gotcha.
It happened in one of the Queen's the Queen Amidala trilogy of novels, which are excellent, by the way. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
But I do think that's interesting. I kind of agree. I think it just kind of depends on the amount of usage, because I like the idea of like different societies isn't the right word, but like different people kind of having like different
different
swear words, 'cause
linguistics.
the galaxy is so large, right? And so if they say shit like a bunch more throughout the show, I'll be like, okay.
It just
chill.
it felt like when Batman said shit and fuck in the Zack Snyder movies. I was like, all right, bro, chill.
It's not that bad. It's not that
Come on.
bad.
It's not that bad, but
It's not that bad.
I was still like, come on, we're like
When Luke
we can come up
Skywalker
with a
says
different word.
fuck, I'll be like, okay, there's the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like fucking shit, bro. These ARC troopers.
And I'll be like, okay, that's enough. No more of
Bro, stop.
more of that.
He calls Grogu. He's like, "Oh, you little shit," and it's
Like,
like,
you
"All right,
little shit.
bro,
I'll be like,
Luke,
all right,
chill,
that's the
Luke,
line.
chill."
That's no more. So that was one comic. Another kind of Tony Gilroy came out and like admittedly said that like, hey, we're not trying to do like member berry stuff on purpose. Like if stuff comes up naturally that fits within it, but they're not going out of their way to include references to the galaxy as a whole. So when stuff does kind of pop up, I think it's really, really interesting. Mainly when we see a very young 6-year-old Cassian climbing into a separatist ship The dead officers have the CIS logo branded onto their clothing, which I thought was really, really interesting. And it's interesting to hear that, of course, that the Empire kind of written off that planet as a mining accident. Seems to happen a lot within the Empire, and I'm guessing that's probably a code for something that's classified. Because I mean, the clearly whatever accident that killed everyone had happened and left all these kids stranded to kind of make their own society, which I thought was really, really interesting. You could see that their clothing was all like old like flight and work suits and stuff, and they were using pipes as blow darts. It was really cool.
I thought they were just staffs at first. I didn't realize they were like blow dart.
Yeah.
All that Lord of the Flies stuff was like incredible. I love that like that entire story is told not a lick of English spoke. Like,
incredible.
And like no subtitles to say like this is what they're saying. It would just it went.
Yep.
And
perfect.
I ate all that shit up. That was incredible.
Perfectly directed.
Yep.
Like amazing. Genuinely incredible. And yeah, just kind of getting the of course that like him kind of getting picked up by his surrogate mother there. Like is of course a callback to the I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old or whatever. Because, and I don't remember specifically where, but I know that it's stated in some expanded universe stuff outside of like around the time that Rogue One came out that Cassian's parents were separatists, right? And so whether that's true for the show or not, but it's something interesting to think about that he's sort of like always been on the rebel side, right? Whether that's good or bad, but that is sort of in his blood, and so when I should have written his name down, but when Bill Skarsgård shows up and is like, "Don't you want to fight these bastards for real?" I was like, "That's gonna activate something in him."
Luthen.
Like, Luthen, thank you. I could not remember it.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so I really love that. I love that whole scene, that whole exchange when he's selling the Imperial drive. Amazing.
Yes,
just brilliant.
I'll give you an extra 1,000 if you tell me where you got it from. He says 1,000, and he's like, "All right, deal, like 1,000." Like
done. Like tell me.
So for me, it felt like Cassian could have like bargained more for it, but like he said 1,000, and then Luthen was like, "Deal." Like tell me.
And that was also so like outside of Cassian's scope, right? Like I love how much they built up like Cassian's struggle throughout that first episode, those first 2 episodes. So that by the time you get to the third, when he's like 1,000 credits, it's like you don't have 1,000 credits. Like it's so easily believable. Like I just
he's like, you got the cash, boom, Luthen, big ballin', 40 G's straight up. Oh my god. Swipe the card,
He's like, I got these stacks, bro. Tell me how you got this.
Yeah. And then like even within like the little exchange we got from them, you're already getting like that mentor vibe. Like when he like blows the doors and he's like, you set charges on the doors, he's like, always come in, like enter with an exit strategy. Like I was like, that's
or like the comms thing where he's like, dude, don't bring anything that they can trace. Like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. And then like that entire action sequence when dudes are getting dragged by the chains and the things are falling, I'm like, this is incredible. And the buildup of the ambient noise and the tension, and it's like, what's happening here? Like, we all know Cassian dies at the end of Rogue One, but it's still like, god damn, they're nailing
Whoa!
I know spoilers.
I'm gonna circle back to that here in a second, but I did want to touch on the like the intimidation tactic, the warning system, and that sort of thing. Which one? I love the solidarity of the working class on Ferrix. That's so rad. I love that. Like
your boss.
Like that one dude sold him out, and everyone like just immediately was like, "What the fuck, dude? That's so fucked up, man. Why would you do that?" Fuck that dude.
Yes, fuck that dude. And I was gonna say my only problem is his sister cries when he's shot. I'm like, no, that dude's a fucking rat. That dude got what was coming to him, bro.
That's not his sister.
That's Cassian's sister. That's Cassian's sister.
No, Biggs
is
he's looking for her, bro. He's looking for her.
Yeah, he's trying to find his sister.
Oh my god.
Biggs is just like somebody that clearly that he's been getting. I think that he's like an ex-girlfriend sort of deal.
And yeah. Like
which is why Dickface was like so jealous and she's like a part because he's like she's back with her ex-boyfriend.
I thought it was interesting with the Tim character, like
Tim, thank you.
Because obviously you ratted him out, not cool, but like he did it because he was jealous, not because he's like an Imperial sympathizer or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I did understand some of the like.
Oh no, I get it. He's a fucking rat.
A rat is a rat.
Yeah.
bro. But
Simple as that.
There's a lot of that sort of gray evil sort of going in, right? So where it's like the corporate tactical force is the fucking pigs. It's like they're not evil because they're an empire. It's just it's like they're assholes because of like what they do. You know what I mean? Like that dude is an asshole, but I mean he's not he's not Darth Vader. Yeah, you know what I mean, there's some really, really cool layers to the antagonists so far that we've really gotten, that I'm really excited to just see like the absolute like banality of the Empire by the time that we get to it. Just this absolute cold-hearted motherfuckers, like compared to everyone else that we've seen. That's going to be really, really interesting. Especially because we haven't seen any Imperials yet. Like that's something that kind of surprised. We've seen no Imperials yet. It's all been the Corpos so far. But there's a lot of talk about them, and it was in a lot of the trailers. But I love Cassian's line of it is like they're so like fat and happy, like so satisfied with themselves. They couldn't even believe that somebody like me could get inside their house. And I think that just one line like really says a lot about like how the Empire are going to be portrayed in this show. That's really cool. I don't think they're going to be like goofy ass like stormtroopers and kind of shooting and stuff. I think they're going to be like a genuine like threat here, and that's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
So good.
Great little monologue he had there about infiltrating the Empire.
Mm-hmm. I love his one remark. He was like, "What do you need? Just like some disguises and a pair and dirty hands and a toolkit." It's like whatever, which also just kind of feels like a fun prod at how often like people disguise themselves as Imperials throughout Star Wars. Like but Rebels? It is something that makes sense.
Rebels do it.
Like Rebels does it all the fucking time.
Yes, exactly.
With that exact same thing, just that little toolkit or whatever.
Here's a stormtrooper helmet. Sure, they do it in Rogue One. To get onto into the base on Scarif, they disguise themselves as Imperials.
They did it in Kenobi too. You know, they
put the coat around Leia.
Yep. They never stop doing it, bro.
They can't stop, bro. It's a thing at this point. But I love that though. It is something that is kind of almost feels like a little fun prod, but still makes sense within the context of the show and the character, and I don't feel like takes anything away from that scene. And yeah, it's something that we've also seen him do before in Rogue One, which is really, really awesome. I found a comment from Tony Gilroy, where he said that Rogue One is the series finale. Like everything in this show leads to Rogue One. So the idea that Rogue One is going to be kind of the final act of what's built up here in Andor is really, really interesting, especially when I think of those incredible final shots of him and Jyn Erso on the beach, right, as the destruction of the Death Star lasers coming towards them. There's something about the way that he was framed there, and also in that last shot of Episode 3, when you get like the back and forth of him on his mothership, and then later on Luthen's kind of looking towards this bright light that signifies like this huge change that's coming, that I thought was really, really interesting, and I think is kind of like a nice like visual tie-in to something that comes later. And I think we're going to see a lot of that, because Gilroy seems like so. I'm really short on words today. I got a million thoughts bopping around. I'm never watching the episode and then coming straight to a podcast again. I'm going to lay it all out a bit more, a bit better after this. But it all feels so purposeful and driven, right? Like I don't think there's a single second of wasted time throughout all three of these episodes, and I love that.
And going to the plan thing, like they have the whole show planned out already. It's not like
2 seasons, 24 episodes.
It's not like Obi-Wan where it was a movie and now it's a TV show and there might be another season. Mandalorian's a little bit different. The sequels, had different plans and stuff like that. So
no, Mandalorian was always kind of meant to be serial. Like we'll do this episode or this season and then this season and then that season. Whereas Kenobi was a movie and then it's a show. This they sat down 2 seasons, 12 episodes each. Like when they announced it, they're like 2 seasons.
Also, I like how you said big life changes, one leaving the planet and then the other one getting disintegrated.
Blown up.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big change.
Yeah. That's a fucking bright ass future coming for him. Future's just a fucking blast from the Death Star.
Future's about to fucking hit him in the face, bro.
Yeah, but like speaking to all this would
Hmm.
be incredible. I'm gonna say 2-3 years from now when we have the full show and we have the entire just like Cassian Rebel arc.
Mhm.
Like that would be such a
Yeah.
just great watch of just all like
Oh, yeah.
24 episodes followed by a movie, boom, and it's just that can exist in Star Wars, you know, and I think that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really something special we have on our hands. I think that's
Mhm.
just take it all in while it's here. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we only get one more season after this, and that's it. You know, we're on to the next thing, and that's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. It's just we're seeing something really cool happen in real time, and I love that.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
I
was
agree.
really cool that it was in the flashback section. When he was about to get on the ship, they basically like when he turned around and looked at the ship, they gave him almost like a hero shot already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also noticed that the ship that his parents taken was the one that he was like hiding out in.
Yep.
Like for a while, where he
Like
did all
sleeping
that.
in when he got back.
Mm-hmm. When he hits the thing and the pull comes out and he pulls out the
Yep.
Imperial thing. That was where he stashed the thing forever.
Mhm.
Which is really, really cool. I also love that the first episode of Andor is just kind of spent telling Cassian how he needs to fix his life. Like,
Yeah.
it's just everyone is like, dude, you owe me money. Dude, what are you doing? Fucking take a shower, Cassian.
Yeah.
You smell.
And, like Andor shows up to a dude and he's like, here's the alibi you're gonna give, and the dude's like, no, here's the alibi I'm gonna give, that you insulted my drink of choice, you got fucked up, like you're the fucking the problematic one here.
Shout out to
And-
that dude with a confirmed kill,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, dude. When
Tying
he's like,
the
walking away
the
from
Corpo
the
ship.
Yeah, man. Fuck them pigs.
So
bro.
sick. So sick. Yeah, when the cable came up, I was like,
And he's like coming back.
I was like,
he's like, what's happening?
what an idiot.
The
Also, he
repurposed
made
clone
that same
ships.
face.
Yeah.
He also
Or
made
clone
that
ships.
same face too after he like blasted somebody, kills him dead, and he's like, "What do you mean you're taking away my blaster, dude? I just shot him."
Right.
The lipstick on my Valentino.
although, like Tim, bro, they told you like 4 times to don't run up at them. Like, maybe don't run up at them.
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
trigger happy pigs, bro.
Yeah.
It is very much the Star Wars equivalent of like, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been doing something wrong. Like, it's
Yeah.
none of it's subtle. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He got what he did. What was coming to him though. He got what he did. He got shot, and I went good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking rat.
Yeah. Yeah. The rat and
Calling-
the pig both died.
calling up
Incredible.
Like,
the
there's
pigs
what?
on the
3
space
people
phone.
that knew where he was actually
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
So it's like a very short list of somebody that
I do love kind of seeing though, like the beginnings of where Cassian is to where like he's talking to his mother and she's like, how many people have you told that you're from Canary? He's like, I don't know.
Mhm.
Like, how am I supposed to know?
And I love her response of like, I know, like I've told this many people, they're all dead.
Yep.
Like no one knows, and like I'm just an old lady just living out my days here now.
Mhm.
Like I'm out of the game,
Mm.
you know. Incredible.
Incredible. I also wanted to circle back around to this. Sorry, I know we kind of covered all the music and stuff, but the whole like warning signal, the intimidation tactic, I really liked. One, just as a cool, like obvious way that like Ferric sticks up for each other. Everyone's like there to support one another. Fuck the pigs, you know what I mean? But I loved how in both that instance when they're hitting the things, and also when the dude from the trailer with the hammers comes out and hits the thing, which is badass, by the way.
Great alarm clock.
Great alarm clock. He's got his big headphones on, right? Motherfucker's just jamming, you know. But I love that it wasn't just a sound effect. Those things were weaved into the score of each episode too, to where the notes that were hit on the big like bell drum were also mimicked in the synth, and they would weave out in between each other, and all of the like the metal things that everyone was hitting throughout the town of Ferrix it was essentially like the percussion that went along with that. So that way, when all of the music drops out and that sound effect drops out too, it's just silent, and it creates the really stark contrast that's super noticeable and so well done. And who composed this show? I need to know. I need to know right now. Andor
Great
soundtrack
question.
composer.
Hmm.
Nicholas Breitel, an American composer, pianist, and film producer based in New York City. What have you done, sir? Songwriting partners: Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Academy Award for Best Music. Albums, he's done Don't Look Up, Secession, Moonlight,
Ooh.
the King. Dude's got some heavy hitters. Wow, man. Okay. Respect. Nicholas Britell.
GG's Nick.
Good shit.
GG's.
That's a good ass soundtrack in just these first 3 episodes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Still no Mandalorian. Of course, like I saw one of those memes.
It's hard to be Ludwig, man.
Mandalorian theme. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Or even Book of Boba
Like-
Fett's theme
Yeah.
with the chants.
You mean the one where the lyrics are Boba Fett?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, they
true,
still haven't
true.
even put that version
Are
out
you
on, like,
referring to
streaming
that? Because it's
services.
awful.
No, dude, it's
I
fantastic.
can't
man.
fucking stand it, bro. It
I
was
can-
so
I-
cheesy. That came up,
Oh
and I was
my
like, "This is
God.
how you end the show. This is it. This
Dude.
is how you do it."
That came up. I'll
Not that
pop
version,
my
the
pussy in the
actual
club
theme.
to that, all right?
The drums for me were the Boba Fett for you.
I get it. Teach their own, man. You know?
You know what I mean? Yeah. The kind of like the last sort of note that I had here that I was scribbling as I was watching the show was that I love that it's got a title card. That's
Yeah.
fascinating to me. I think it's
Yeah.
is it the only show that has like a genuine like title card that starts out everyone? Did Book of Boba Fett have one?
They just do book and Mando just do their chapter
Yeah,
titles,
yep.
so they don't
Yeah.
go like full Mando. They go like bring chapter 6, Return of the Mandalorian, which I think
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
hype for the
Think-
cold opens, but like yeah, when they're like
For-
doing the title card, I thought that was pretty cool.
And so
Yeah,
for
I like
live
the title
action, they might be title card because I know Bad Batch they always did the boom and then the episode number.
Yeah, which is really
Yeah.
cool. I love that.
That's why I used it
Or
for
it just
our,
drops in and-
spoiler
and,
cast for Bad Batch.
Oh yeah, so good, so good. That's kind of all the notes I have. Do you guys have any sort of like final thoughts, feelings, and any predictions, rumors? Where do you think it's going? What do you want to see? Just give me the general vibe as we head into next week for episode 4.
I think I wanted to. We talked about like set design, costume design. The alien
Mhm.
designs too looked awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If we talked
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
A few that we've seen before, along with some new ones, which I think is always kind of like the magic touch, right? Is
Yeah.
like, give me some familiar, some new.
Yeah.
I love
And
to see like the
then-
big dude that was standing over, and Cass is like, "Really? You're working for him?"
Yeah.
And then I really like the thematic, like beats of when Cassian is a kid, he doesn't choose to get taken with Marva.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
at the end of episode 3, he doesn't choose to go with what's his name? Luthen. Luthen. He doesn't choose to go with Luthen, and so, but we know in Rogue One he chooses to like literally rebel against the rebellion and lead a strike team on Scarif. So we're going to see that progression from, not taking agency over his life to him taking agency.
To finally having this point where it's like, you know what, I'm taking is like
Enough
I'm
is enough.
choosing this time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then working alone, joining a
Yeah,
cause.
I think
Yeah.
the show is very, very much going to supplement like those things that we see in Rogue One, just as far as like I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Like I've done horrible things on the behalf of the rebellion, like that sort of thing. The opening scene of the show is him icing 2 dudes, right? Like cold blooded too. I might
But
have when
again-
the
again,
dude's like
how
did
pleading
that
for
one
his
dude-
life and he shoots
like,
him. I was like,
again-
God damn.
Again,
He just headbutt the dude.
yeah.
I think he fell
Yeah,
on
that
his
was
neck.
crazy to me.
I think he fell on
But-
his neck.
But again, too, like he didn't want that fight, and then
Yeah.
you compare that to he accidentally kills the first guy, And then you when the other security guards like, hey, like let's come up with this story. Like you look again, Diego Luna, great job in that scene. Like you can see like the fear, the inaction on his face,
Mhm.
and then he does choose to kill. But it's such a much different like choice and reasons why he chose that versus when he brutally kills the informant at the beginning of Rogue One. Again, we're gonna see
which
this
was
growth.
also much more like not practiced, but I mean he definitely just felt more detached when he does it in Rogue One, right? Where he just does it. He's like
Just cold.
Yeah. Tuesday, and it was
it's Wednesday, bro. It's Wednesday today. But and then my prediction, we're gonna see Jabba the Hutt, bro. We know Diego Luna loves Jabba like way too much. Jabba the Hutt is gonna make an appearance. I'm not saying we're going to Tatooine, but Jabba the Hutt is gonna make an appearance. Yes, that's my prediction.
Imagine he shows up in like the fucking like Imperial Senate or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Darth
like
Vader works with Jabba a lot in the comics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All I'm saying. Josh, what about you, man? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, like all of it great. Love like the shootout Western style when they have the whole town under siege, and he like comes up behind the dude and cocks the gun. I was like, oh my god, that's incredible. Also, the most relatable line in Star Wars: "I don't have a girlfriend." Damn, finally get it. Wow, that one kind of hit hard. Not gonna lie.
Not deep, bro.
He's like, I don't have a girlfriend, and I was like, dude.
Sheesh.
Man, like damn. Yeah, no, love the story. I hope that we continue some more of the back and forth between him as a kid and him as an adult, and just like the parallels. I think that's a really great way to flesh out the 6 year, like that throw, like it's a line of just like, I've been in this fight since I was 6, but I think that's a great way to like flesh out that. So I definitely hope we get some more of that. And I hope we do see more of this leader. I already, again, forgot his name. The Zach Woods.
Karn, bro.
Discount Zach Woods, man. Discount Zach Woods, discount Jack Quaid. All right,
Dollar store Jack Quaid, yeah.
Dollar store Jack Quaid. I hope I hope we get more of him, and just like him just coming back and like going above that officer and going straight to the Empire and being like selling out his entire guard, like everything, and they're like, all right, well, you really want this now rebel informant, like you're hired. And I'd love to see just more of his
I almost wonder
kind of revenge,
if his story is going to go the opposite way, right? To where he's clearly very much like an office worker, pencil pusher, to he has that conversation with the Scottish dude to where he's like, do you think I should like suit up for? Should I come with this? I don't really do all that. And he's like, yeah, if you have an officer on the line, I think it'd be good for morale. And he gives like this really bad speech showing that he's like inexperienced at doing these sorts of things. He's clearly like very uncomfortable in all of the combat sections. I almost wonder if he's going to kind of see like the brutality of all of it and kind of how fucked up the corpos are, and the sense that I got, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I think it'd go either way of whether he's like super angry that they got away and they did this, or of him being like, fuck, are we the baddies? I almost wonder if he'll go that direction. Yeah
the way I kind of read it was just like he's just looking there and like sulking in his failure and just still wanting that revenge. Like, not only has this dude now killed 2 like officers, but like he's like, I rolled up with a crew of 14, and
he got away, still
got away, and like also killed more. Like, there are more casualties to this. Like, I need to put an end. Like, I need to go further, and it's gonna be that like, how far are you gonna go for revenge? Type.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Which I would love. I would love having him as like a direct antagonist for obviously.
Yeah, well, Andor grows in his rebel.
This guy grows in his Imperial.
Yeah, that's kind of that's my hope for it. Because like obviously the antagonist is always going to be the Empire, but when you can have like an actual personal one-on-one antagonist too, I feel like that helps just like
especially
drive the protagonist
big fucking nerd ass looking modified his uniform, fucking pencil pusher.
And so if we start up episode 4, and he's just on the fucking curl up,
Just getting huge.
He's fucking doing target practice. He goes bring, hitting his shots, and he's after Andor, dude. Like that's what
Tiger
I
playing.
want. Yes, dude. And especially with how the music's already going, it's gonna be some sick guitar riff, and drums and kick, ba ba ba, ra, da, ba ba, you know, just all that stuff, man. Like that's my hopes for the show. But like no matter what, I think it's gonna be a great ride the entire way through.
Yeah, I agree. That was also something I should have written down. I loved like the sort of the commander kind of being like, did you tailor your uniform? And he talks about like the alterations that he made and stuff. And then there's just kind of visual references to that throughout, to where I noticed that everyone else's uniform was much more like looser fitting and much more casual, because these are guys just showing up for their job, and this dude lives for it, right? He's here, he's got it all nice and neat and proper. This dude could be an Imperial. Like, you know, I could see him becoming an Imperial with the way that he carries himself, which is really, really cool. But Alec, final thoughts.
I guess one thing I just want to quick mention was I liked how they, or at least those ships when they go actually to the planet surface, was looked like to be modified clone drop ships.
They did look really similar.
Yeah.
Wings were smaller.
Shout out to that. Yeah. That's what I said modified, because they're actually in space. So they kind of need to have those sealed.
That was really cool ship design, though, by the way. That big like pyramid looking thing where all the shuttles are like in the bottom and they all pop out. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Like semi Imperial adjacent.
Yeah. Like these dudes are clearly like contracted by the Empire kind of deal.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed these few episodes. Can't wait for what's up next, and yeah, don't really have too many predictions. Just give me the beginning of Cassian's rebel journey.
I'll give you one. Kyle Katarn reveals himself.
You heard it here first, baby. Right on. This is the Waypoint. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. How are you feeling about the first episodes of Andor? Do you want and more? Thank you for that joke, Bret. That was really, really good. I appreciate that. I'm never going to forget that. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Go watch our House of the Dragon show. Go vote for our boys in the gaming future class. I can't remember the name of it. Future class
of video games.
Thank you. Watch our She-Hulk reviews. We've done a bunch of E3 Part 2 reactions as well. There's just a lot of good content out here. You could even, if you watch this episode and not our Rogue One retrospective, what are you doing? Go watch our Rogue One rewatch retrospective replay.
Watch the movie first, then watch that podcast.
Or don't. I'm not your mom, you know? But thank you guys very much. We'll see you again next week. Get out. Cut the tape.